What is up, good people? Bottom Nerd here with crazy thought. I know we haven't done it in a while. At least you would have thought we'd have done it in the last 15 days, by the way. 15 days straight of doing a live channel. I just woke up from a nap, so brain's not really together, but I realized before I kind of finish off my day, I'm going to get this done so then I can go do stuff. So brain not working very welly. But yeah, I figured we should talk about one of the most amazing films I've ever watched in my entire life. And it's not 28 years later, The Bone Temple, because quite frankly, the first movie, 28 years later, was just fucking trash. So we're going to talk about that. I really think it's something. It's been a minute since we've done kind of review type thing, but to put it bluntly, Rental Family, starring Brendan Fraser, came out in 2025. I kid you not, folks. This is probably in my top 10 most favorite films of all time. So, what makes it so special? Everything. It's got heart, it's got wit, humor. The story is just it's unique and it's different, but it's also, it tells the story from a different culture, aka the Japanese lifestyle, the Japanese way of things. I would have no clue what that looks like, what it's all about. Japan, Tokyo is my number one place to visit on my bucket list. This year, 2026, I am actually hoping to go. We've got trips planned, so it's going to be incredible. But Brendan Fraser, it's been decades since he's really hit the spotlight, and it's not he's been in a lot of films, but the ones that he has been in, he's just knocked it out of the park. Broken records, bottom nerd is what we do. But the one where he was the whale, that's it. I think that was where he won the Academy Award for it. The man has come back with a vengeance. And if you don't know his story, Brendan Fraser, we all know the mummy, action pack, yada yada yada. He disappeared. It's a pretty horrible, sad story. Why? And I encourage you to look it up. Not just because to get the details of that horrible situation, but just to really find out that man has gone through hell, like absolute hell, and to come back with a vengeance like he has, winning an Oscar. Academy Award is an Oscar, right? With The Whale, which was holy shit, an incredible movie that will really make you feel like shit as a human being for the way we treat people. But again, he does it this time with The Rental Family, or I think it's just called Rental Family. And the entire basis of this film is he's a struggling American actor in Japan. He speaks the language, he's been there for almost a decade, and he comes across this company that basically helps the Japanese people, depending on who you are in a situation, kind of fulfill their destiny, fulfill their it's hard to just fulfill their dream, I guess, is a way to put it, because my understanding is, and kind of what the movie portrays, and I'm assuming is very, real in today's world. There's not a lot of emotion around the Japanese in terms of, like, it's very strict guidelines. They want you to be successful no matter what, like if you're a kid. So this company basically hires actors and actresses to kind of fill in those gaps. So for example, one of them, and it's where this humor comes in, because obviously Brendan Fraser's character Philip has this agent and says, hey, they need somebody, XYZ scenario. Oh, what's my role going to be? Sad American. But he walks in on a funeral. Come to find out, it's actually not a real funeral. It's just somebody who has hired these people to create a funeral to kind of make them feel special. And I know that sounds kind of twisted and weird, but this individual just didn't think they really had anybody that cared. And they hire these people to basically act out friends, family that do care. And it's kind of remarkable, and it kind of makes you're gonna throw up a little bit in your mouth, but it gives you the warm fuzzies inside, because obviously there are a lot of trial and tribulations. Like, again, the main story, there's several main characters, but of course each one has their own unique story. And I think one of the best ones is he gets hired by a single mother to portray the father so that the daughter can get into this like super duper high end school. Ultimately, it turns out to be an amazing story of like bond and connection, where he really does. He becomes the father to this girl, but ultimately, at the end of it, they're gonna find out. The end of this, like at the end of the movie, spoiler, the daughter is gonna find out that he was just playing, he was an actor. And it kind of heartbreaking, because you're like, man, this would have been really awesome to see this become like a family unit, but ultimately it just turns out to be what it was. Without giving you too much away, it actually does end positively with all the story arcs. But again, another one to give you another example, another one of the story arcs was, there's this writer who created a lot of like comic books, a lot of movies, anime. He was known throughout the entire Japanese culture for the last like 100 years. He's like 88 years old. He obviously started to get dementia. He wasn't allowed to go outside. So the daughter, this is where you kind of, it's like you understand why the daughter did what she did. Basically just kept him on house arrest, I guess, if you want to call it. She didn't want him wandering off, getting into trouble. He has dementia. I don't know what that's like. God forbid. I don't know what that's like. I'm sure it's absolutely tragic to watch that loved one just disappear. And at the same time, it's 24-hour care when you have somebody like that. So I can only imagine what it was like to make that decision. So ultimately, she hires Brendan Fraser's character to portray this interviewer, and just to kind of give his spirits, hopefully make him feel a little bit better. So they develop a bond between each other, and the old man's dying wish, was to go like across the entire country of Japan to find his old house, where he actually had pictures of a loved one. Like, he remarried, the old guy remarried, but of course he had his first love during the war, World War II. And it's an incredibly touching moment, because he only remembers because of the pictures. So he remembers a house, and then it clicks, and he finds the pictures of him and this like first love that he ever had. And they just have this moment, because Brandon Fraser literally risked his life, because he borderline almost went to jail for it, because he quote unquote stole this old man, but they figure it out because they get him out of it. But it's just, again, it tells that story of like, just because you're 88 and you got dementia and blah 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 blah, that's not the end of your story. And I think that's one of the biggest amazing things about this movie, Rental Family, is because it teaches you that no matter what, even take the Japanese culture out of it, you still have to live the best life that you possibly can, even when life throws you shit constantly. And I think we're pretty much seeing that regularly on an hourly basis right now, whether through society, social media, blah, 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 blah. So if you want something that's going to make you feel good and get you all the warm and fuzzies, but also the heartbreak along with the humor, this is the movie to watch. And I figured what we would do is, let me show you guys the trailer, just so you can kind of understand where the touch of humor comes in, but of course ends up being the fun la 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 side, whatever the words are. So I'll play this out for you guys here.
The market here isn't the same anymore. It's half the rate, twice the work. But I got you a gig, and the pay is actually pretty good.
What's my part? So, what do you think we do here?
We sell emotion.
How?
We play roles in the clients' lives. Parents, siblings, boyfriends, girlfriends, best friends, and help them connect to what's missing.
I'm just an actor. I don't know how to help people.
What I'm offering here is a chance to play roles with a real meaning.
What do you need me for?
We need a talking white guy. This girl needs a father.
Hi, Mia. I'm your father.
I'm your father.
Hello, Mia. I'm your father.
I hate you.
She hates me.
It's what being a parent is. You could live in this country for 100 years, and there will still be things you won't understand.
Why do you do this?
Sometimes the story we tell ourselves becomes the truth. To her parents, you are her husband. These people look at you like they've been waiting for you their whole lives. And what you'll discover is that they stay with you.
Well, this is amazing.
It's cool, but it's fake.
You know, sometimes it's okay to pretend.
So there it is. There's the trailer. If you have a chance to watch it, it's been out. I think I came across an advert somewhere, probably a trailer, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't really think too much of it. I think that's what, yeah, that was right. I remember seeing Brendan Fraser dressed up like as a superhero toothpaste guy. I thought, you know what, that's gonna come in the future. I'll watch that later. I didn't realize that was November of 2025 when that came out, and I'm only now just watching it. So, like I said in the beginning of this video, if you haven't seen it, verbatim, hand to God, I got my Charlie shirt on today. I swear to you, God, I swear to you, people, this has got to be top 10, one of the most greatest films I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if this will get like Academy Award type things for 2026, because again, I don't know how that all works, but it fucking should. I think Brendan Fraser should not only get the award for like best actor or something like that, but I think this should get like the best story thing, whatever you want to call it. The obvious question you might be asking if you are a fan of this channel, and I do have to mention it just very briefly because I don't want to ruin too much, but the obvious question would be with Rental Family, is there any woke political agendas in there? For a split second, there is. So just to give you, I guess, a spoiler slash if you really give a shit, but in the very beginning, you saw in the trailer there, he was getting married to somebody. Obviously, without giving you too many details, let's just say the reason she needed to get married was to show her family she ultimately had feelings for a different individual. I'll simply say that. It's very brief, it's very quick, and then they move on with the story. So I will give them credit there. There was definitely that, like, my eyes half rolled. You know, again, we've talked about this 1,000 times. Whenever we see this in the movies and the shows, blah, 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 blah. Your eyes kind of do a half roll, and you're like, all right, where are they going to, they're moving on. Okay, good. Let's move the eyes back. So just wanted to throw that out there because, again, sometimes, let's be real, it takes one moment to just royally screw an entire film. And this is in the beginning. This is like 30 minutes into a 2-hour movie. So you're kind of like, if this is how it's going to go, I'm fucking done. I'm moving on. So I can promise you, hand to God, Charlie Kirk shirt, there is a half second of wokeness, and then they move the fuck on to the most incredible story you have seen in years. And I think, to finish up the review, easily, you know me, and I gotta maybe add it on here, 4 cups of tea out of 4 from yours truly, Spot of Nerd, because again, it's a unique story. It tells something different. It has heart. It has emotion. You will cry your eyes out. Yes, I will. I'm a man enough to say that, but ultimately, it is just one of those movies that teaches you, and I think that's the key. It teaches you that just because life has thrown a whole lot of shit your way doesn't mean you still can't enjoy the little things. Doesn't mean you still can't be who you are on the inside, even when society tells you can't. And I think where I'm going with that is because I look at the way the world is, I look at my viewpoints, conservative, right wing, and yes, I'm bringing politics into it, whatever, but living in only blue state areas, blue states, blue cities, etc. You are literally every day fighting on your own. It is hard, it is emotional, it is angrily frustrating, yada yada yada, and it is tiresome. But you know what? I'm fucking awesome and amazing for the fact that I can stand tall and I can speak out without fear, other than the death threats I get constantly. But I don't fear telling you guys that I'm a Trump supporter or that I'm a conservative or blah, 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 blah. Because if that's what defines your viewpoint of me, then I just feel sorry for you. And I think that's what this movie kind of like, it inspires you to just stop giving a fuck about what the world thinks of you and just live you, who you are, what you want. Don't let culture and society define it for you. And again, I don't know the Japanese lifestyle, the culture as much as from what I've seen on television or movies or history books, but I can only imagine what some of these families or people go through. And I think the reality is this movie is portraying the life of real people. So my heart goes out to him, because ultimately at the end of the day, sometimes you can't, you do have to act. You have to fake it till you make it, as they say. So again, my 2 cents. Trust me, put it at the top of your watch list. You can find it on digital streaming stuff. I'm sure it'll be on a streaming service soon. Go and watch Rental Family now. Now, to wrap up this video, I'm going to make this kind of short, but not really, because I keep saying that every single time and it ends up not being there. I had to show you guys something hilarious. So a couple days ago, yes, days ago, we were discussing Starfleet Academy, the new Star Trek series from Paramount. Obviously, if you've seen the trailers, if you've seen some of these articles, reviews, it is, you want to talk about a woke political agenda masterpiece. This show is it. And it actually just premiered today, I think, or something. I started watching half of it and I was like, even 20 minutes in, I was like, nope, not a chance in fucking hell. We will expand on that another time. But I wanted to show you guys this article because obviously, if you probably know him by now or you don't, Nerdrotic. I've been eternally grateful to meet him at comic conventions. He is obviously an influencer, content creator on YouTube, Rumble, yada yada yada. He started off with 1,000 subscribers. He's now well over 1 million subscribers. The man, he's an idol. He's a legend. He's got an entire crew. Blah 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 blah. But the greatest thing on the planet, which is just hilarious as fuck, Paramount, which is of course the owner of Star Trek right now, released the first episode of Starfleet Academy on YouTube for free so that everybody could watch. He, at the very same time, set up a live cam of an action figure, which you can see above me, of Spock sitting in a chair. And he said, I'll bet you $20 that this live feed of just a camera looking at an action figure of Spock gets more views than the free release of the first episode of the newest Star Trek series. And holy shit, it is true. Look at this shit. So it says, yeah, my live stream with a Spock action figure in an empty chair beat Star Trek Starfleet Academy's 1,300 view plus peak live viewers. So again, the mumbo jumbo is at any certain time, there was only 1,300 viewers watching the show. With Nerdrotic's Spock action figure, if you go down this article, or if you just look him up, he had, I think it was like 3,600. Yeah, look at this, nearly 3,400 peak viewers. So he basically doubled their view. A action figure that just sat on a chair doubled the view count than a $10 million per episode brand new Star Trek series. I just, you have to laugh, because it's like, again, if you watch the trailer for Starfleet Academy and you go back, watch what even just I talked about, it's as if they're doing it on purpose. We'll go down again. We'll go more in depth another time, but it's as if they're doing this shit on purpose, because my God, if you actually think a soul with 2 ounces of intelligence is gonna watch that shit, you are smoking crack. So Paramount, good luck to you on that one, because you know that one's going to end up right down the toilet, just like everything else you come out with, at least from a Star Trek standpoint. So thought we'd leave it on a funny note because I thought that was absolutely hysterical. We'll go into more of that obviously another time, but huge thank you guys. Seriously, throw me the likes, the comments, the subscriptions, the follows, everywhere you can. I would super duper in the pooper appreciate it. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get a chance to go and watch 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. The marketing's been pretty shisty on that, as in it's non-existent. And like I said before, the first movie, 28 Years Later, was trash. So not expecting a lot from that, but ultimately, who knows? We'll see. I'll let you guys know, hopefully by tomorrow, or at least this weekend when I get a chance to see it. But until then, folks, go and watch Rental Family, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.